What's good? What's good? We're back again with my boy Ed. You know, I'm DP. Make sure that y'all follow us on IG. I'm at DP2Nice. Ed is Call My Agent. Obviously, y'all are on the YouTube page or Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and find us on YouTube at DP2Nice. I think Ed's stuff just went out.
I'm here. I
But yeah,
just
okay. You good.
had a camera thing. Okay.
We good. So yeah, find us on DP2 Nice for the YouTube channel. And like I said, on IG, I'm DP2 Nice. Ed is Call My Agent. We're gonna give y'all bars every day of the week. And then we give y'all off on weekends because you know NFL is coming, college is coming. So we want to make sure y'all are able to tap into that and then we'll review that. So our first topic, I'm gonna pull it up and we'll get straight into it. We added to the stage Tim Tebow, Deion Sanders among AP all-time All-Americans. So before we get into all of it, let me go down to the first team offense, right? Wide receiver, Randy Moss and Larry Fitzgerald. I'm already thinking of Calvin Johnson and trying to figure out some of the stuff. Obviously, Randy Moss got to be all-time, everything at every level, right? Boom.
Right.
I think Larry is a very good pick. You got guys, Calvin, Julio. You got Crabtree, who I actually think should be the other guy next to Randy Moss. I think Michael Crabtree, because we're going off a college resume.
Yeah, off of college. I get it.
Right? He's a two-time Blitnikoff winner. He only played 2 college football seasons. What else do you want from the man? Like, there's nothing else that he could have really done. The numbers that he really set as far as college went, he had like 122 catches as a freshman, 1,800 yards, 20-something touchdowns. And next year, he didn't have those numbers, but he had Blitnikoff winning numbers. Like, I actually feel that Crabtree should be first team when it comes. I guess they only did first team. I was making sure I didn't miss nothing. So how do you feel about those wide receivers? Do you think so? I think Randy, obviously, and I think most people think that. Do you think Crabtree should have snuck in there on that first team?
Honestly, man, I love Larry Fitzgerald. It's splitting hairs when it comes to wide receivers. There's so many good wide receivers. I mean, we want to go all the way back to like Peter Warwick. It's like some really good guys. I'm okay with Larry Fitzgerald, to be honest. I am. The one that concerns me by looking at this list, and it was funny because I was just defending him yesterday, Tim Tebow.
Man, we just gonna get there, but let's go there because
goodness gracious, Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow is y'all. First of all, this is what I don't like about the Tim Tebow legend. He won 1 national championship at Florida. Chris Leak won the other national championship while he was there.
True.
Tim Tebow had packages where he would come in on 4th down. They made it seem like Tim Tebow was the starting guy in the main character under center in the first national championship. That was Chris Leak. That's what I don't like. When the story is told, it's told as if Tim Tebow won that national championship in the first his freshman year or whatever he was doing that. I believe that. Also, when he won the Heisman, they were also a 3-loss team that year. He had Percy Harvin, Aaron Hernandez, Chris Rainey, Jeff Demps, Riley Cooper, the Pouncey twins. The list goes on.
And that's my thing about Tim Tebow. I'm not going to take away from Tebow. I'm just going to say that what he did compared to what other guys did with less makes me think that they deserve to be over him.
Think about this. Put
yes.
Young or Cam Newton on that Florida team that Tim Tebow played on, they would have won every game by 70. Even if the other team scored 40, they would have scored 110.
And the wild part is Cam Newton was on the team. They just didn't let him play. But
and how did he get over there? Because Buddy knew what Mullen had left or did whatever. But he knew about Cam. It was like once he left, he's like, Cam, I gotta get you because I know who was the best quarterback on that team. Like Tebow was like one of those guys where he was good enough to not lose the job because he's going to perform at a high enough level because of the guys around him. Because once again, when we seen Cam go to that league, Cam was Superman and won what I think it was a unanimous MVP. Took a Carolina team to, a Super Bowl, and Tebow never did anything ever then. He completed 2 passes in the game, and when they beat the Chiefs one time, and he completed a pass to Demaryius Thomas to beat the Steelers like 7-3, 14 to whatever. But like those are his 2 highlights of his career, right? So that's my thing is when you look at a Tim Tebow, great leader, great person, but if you take Tim Tebow off of that Florida team with his skill set and throw him at Auburn, them boys lose 5 games. Cam Newton went undefeated through that schedule. You put Tim Tebow on that Texas team, they don't beat USC. Vince Young strapped them boys on his back. Texas had the quarterback and running backs. They didn't really have wide receivers. They had Lyman, Swede, Crosby. You know what I mean? They had running backs now. They did have that. Didn't have crazy tight end. What was David Thomas, I think was his name. You put Tebow on that Texas team, as good as they were on defense, they still don't beat that USC team. And Vince had to come back versus Oklahoma State, do all that stuff. So that's my thing is like we really hype up the legend of Tebow way more than it should be, I believe. And he's not a bad quarterback in college for what he was. But come on now, like the skill set is there, but we have eyes. How y'all put that man there? Y'all put him there as if he won 2 national championships by himself.
And that's the thing. And he was in a ideal situation. He was in Florida with Urban Meyer. You know, say what you want about the off-field antics, but the guy can coach ball. He was surrounded by a ton of NFL talent that was not only excelling in college, that excelled in the league. So it was legit talent. And I mean, he did what he maximized the moment. I will say that out of probably all the quarterbacks that played, you know, he maximized, you know, his talent level and did what he could. But I would honestly put Tim Tebow and then I don't want to slight it, but in the Stetson Benson realm, you know, like like great guys, great character guys, you know, guys that can.
Benson actually has 2 national championships that he won.
Exactly. So that's why I said I'm putting them closer together. But for the number 1 quarterback, AP, it has to go. The conversation starts and ends with Cam Newton, Vince Young. That's where the debate goes.
And we didn't say of the decade or the 2000s. This is ever.
Right.
This is ever. Come on, bro.
I was surprised to see Brock Bowers down there. Like being a Georgia fan, I love the guy, but I wasn't like, is he really that good? Like was he that better than the other tight ends coming out, the Jimmy Grahams, the Vernon Davis, you know, those type of guys?
You know, bro, you know Jimmy. I'll give it to him. Remember, Jimmy just he skipped. Remember, he went straight to the league, didn't he?
I'm not sure. He could have. That's why I said I'm not.
So I would give that. Jimmy didn't go, but you got Vernon Davis, you got the Winslows of the world. But I will say, I have no problem with Bowers because Bowers was legit, and he was always talking about.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was just curious, like, wow, he really.
And the reason why I also have no problem with him is because he came straight to the league as a rookie with nobody throwing him the ball and got busy. Like this ain't a Tebow situation. He went to a reverse Tebow situation with them Raiders and got busy, breaking records, right? So I always liked Bowers. I thought he was a great tight end at Georgia. And I think it wasn't like he went to the Chiefs and replaced the retired Travis Kelce with Mahomes. Went to the Raiders. So I actually have no problem with Bowers, and I've never been like a Georgia fan. I go back and forth with them dudes all the time, making them mad. But I have no problem with that because fortunately for him, he not only had the attributes, but he had the stats because a lot of guys before him that we will mention weren't getting the rock as much as he was getting it because of the time, right? If you had 500 yards as a tight end back in the day, that was getting busy. Now, you know what I mean, Bowers going for 1,000, went for 1,200 as a rookie in the league. So I have no problem really with Bowers because you get guys like him and Pitts, they get the ball so much more than even what a Vernon Davis. Like I don't even know Vernon Davis' stats, but I guarantee you, if we go back and look at it, we would be surprised that he probably had like 657 yards, like, right? But it was just his athleticism and the 40 and the 42-inch vertical. That was more of the thing. Now these tight ends really are able like the dude from Bowling Green, 100 catches, 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns. Back in the day, Shannon and them, Sharp and them, even in the league, was going for like 700 yards. And they're like, man, dudes got busy. Now Bauer's rookie going for 1,200.
Yeah, so and that's what I'm saying. It's more so just a surprise. Like, man, I knew he was dominant. I knew he was the man, but just to be the number one tight end, wow! Like, I'm not, you know. What do you think about their running backs, man?
I think Barry's the GOAT. Barry's the GOAT. College football boy had 400 yards rushing. Genty was trying to chase him down and couldn't even do it with more games, right? In bowl games. And then you had Herschel Walker. I think a guy that could be there with Herschel, which is running backs, right? You got Reggie, what he did, and you got Adrian Peterson. Those are the first two that come to my mind that could be in that slot. Maybe even AP more because, you know, he was the main guy for 3 years and really didn't have to split. But Reggie Bush, to this day, just for pound, and what we got to see with not even being the main guy, Lindell literally probably getting 50% of the carries and Reggie doing that. I could only imagine if they was like, you know what? Reggie Bush, you're getting all the carries like Adrian Peterson and everybody else in college football. Dude would have 2,500 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in another 5 returns. So I think Reggie and AP are two really, really good candidates. Obviously, you got Bo Jackson if you're going back to Herschel Walker and them, but recent times, those are my two.
I'm okay with Barry Sanders and Herschel Walker. I think those are the right picks.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, love that guy. Ricky Williams was another one that
Ricky
was a beast.
And then we got Ron? Hold on, but we had what? Was it Ron Dane? Who won Heisman twice? Wasn't it one of the running backs? Like the only back-to-back Heisman winners, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not. Yeah. It's not Ron Dane, but I think I know
Ron Dane. But I feel like it was like dude in a red. I'm missing. You can talk though, but I feel like there's another running back that actually won the Heisman. What was it? Wasn't Herschel? But let me see. 2-time Heisman winner.
I hate to say it, but don't sleep on OJ neither. OJ.
Hey, the Juice man. Hey, that boy.
Juice, yeah. So I'm good with the offense though as a whole.
Archie Griffin.
Yeah.
I was like, I know he was wearing red, but yeah. So if you go with that, he's a two-time Heisman.
Yeah, I'm still upset about the Tebow, but everything else is pretty solid. What the defense looking like?
Defense will go down to the defense. Like I said, don't nobody care about the linemen, so we're gonna go to the corners. Charles Woodson and Dion. I don't think there's much of an argument between that. Like, and you got Woodson, who don't want a Heisman. Like, what else we want? Both ways, Woodson, both ways prime, baseball prime, track prime. Like, we comparing Travis Hunter to Charles Woodson, who was a Heisman winner. I think that has to stay.
They got to do it from 1929. Goodness gracious.
I said, we ain't even looking at the linemen, man.
Yeah, linebackers, Dick Buckus, Derek Thomas, Chris Spellman. Hey, that's beastie.
And then Ronnie Lott. And then as long as Ed Reed's on there, I don't care who the second is. Y'all got to put Ed. But I actually think it should be two Miami boys. Ed
I was going to say Sean Taylor.
I would like to. Ed got to be on there, but I think it should be, I'm all about the U.
Hey, not even being funny, and maybe this probably set you off, but is Sean Taylor a little overrated?
I really don't think he was, man. Like
he could tackle. He could tackle. He could come up.
He covered a lot of ground too, man. I'm not saying he was locking boys up, but if you go, he was getting to that sideline. I think Sean Taylor was more of a souped up Cam Chancellor. Right? But I think Ed Reed in present day football was a better guy because he could just cover more ground, right? He could hit, but he was getting interceptions. And that's the name of the game in a passing game now. But I feel like Sean Taylor was right before the game transitioned to so much passing.
Right.
Just think about it. They was playing Nebraska and still them boys, you know what I mean? Where boys was running options and all that back in 2001. We didn't go to the spread in high school until really 2004 out here. Right. And when he was in Miami, 2001 and all that, boys were still running the option and under center a lot. So I think he was what they wanted in that day. And I think Ed Reed was just an extended version of him on the back end as far as being able to roam and make plays and read those quarterbacks.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, from this list, I think they did pretty good on the defensive side. They nailed it. Offense, everything was pretty cool except for the quarterback thing. But I think that's some behind field, politics. But I'm cool.
I'll say the one person I want to shout out is Ndamukong Suh, right? He played tackle. They got him on there. I played him twice at KU. Bruh. This man scored a touchdown versus us on offense because he's a fullback. Had like 3.5 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. We couldn't run the ball up the middle. When I say dude was something different, remember, he was like second for most of the year. And I think he might have peaked into first at some point in that year in the Heisman.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
Defensive guys that play linebacker, safety, and corner, the sexy positions, don't even get votes in that. It's an offensive award and it's a quarterback award. This man was playing D tackle at Nebraska and came in like second, third, and like peaked in the first at some point. I played him, and dude was different, man.
Yeah, I remember watching him just going through that whole process around the same time Cam Newton was coming out. Dude was a beast, man. Straight up. Like he's the prototype, when it comes to defensive tackle. I thought that he was going to have he had a great career.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to slight, but I just thought Aaron Donald career would have been the Ndamukong Suh's career.
Yeah.
But dude still was on fire. So he probably was like what the number 2 tackle in the league, 2-3 tackle throughout his career. So he definitely didn't underachieve. It's just
let me tell you what I think got him. Remember, early in his career, he kept getting all those cheap shots and stepping on people and doing all that. I think that overshadowed a lot of what he did because it was so often early in his career where people were going back and seeing dumb things he was doing. I think that's what really overshadowed a lot of his NFL career because early on he was always in trouble for a cheap shot.
Yeah, true.
I think that's one of the things. But we'll move forward with another topic, and I think this will be one that we don't go WNBA a lot, but it's an interesting thing to see. And I'll share this right here. Where we at? We go to Clutch right here. Offered a 400% raise. The offer was a slap in the face, according to the WNBA players, right? They said, considering how little they make compared to their male counterparts, passing on this kind of a deal is a huge risk. Almost any other work, obviously, would take a 400% raise. So the minimum salary would go from $66,000 to $250,000. Mind you, that $250,000 is max salary right now. That would be minimum, right? And then, hold on. It's not I don't think it's showing on y'all's. Let me get it. Let me get it to where it's showing the right one so y'all can see. I want y'all to be able to see it. But yeah, so that's the max salary one. Here we go, so y'all can see this. Boom. So they're proposing this raise. So the max salary is about $250,000. That's what old girl Gray from the Vegas team is making or whatever. And then now the max would go from $250,000 to $1 million. So they're saying, well, the MLB, NBA, NFL make 48% to 50% of league revenues. WNBA is making 9.3. But y'all make 9.3 because the other league of the NBA subsidizes y'all. And you're losing money. So you can't make 50% of losing money. So is this a bad look for the WNBA players not taking a 400% raise? Or do you think holding out would get them more?
In the state of the economy, it's hard to it's really a fickle line, because the way the world is, where people are struggling, inflation is going through the roof, people are losing their houses, people are losing their jobs. It's hard to say that, hey, $1 million, is a 400% raise is not enough. But when it comes down to just economy and business, they're not profitable. So
Yeah.
how do they think they're going to get the same thing that the NFL and the NBA is? It's like these athletes are delusional. Not just the athletes, the people who are representing the athletes who just want to get a check, the people who are just involved in it. It's like they don't take into account the risk that the owners have to take to even be in business. Because if it gets to the point where they just keep trying to demand, if the owners say, you know what, all right, you know what, let's just end the league. Now
Because like I said, they've lost money every year for 25, 26 straight years. You got
now
the NBA making billions and you're losing on an average 40 to 50 million. Like there's
imagine what happened at AN1. Why did they get shut down?
boys wasn't making that money on.
Why did the XFL get shut down?
No money on. Like they don't really realize that they're privileged because of the times we're in and they're trying to build for the women.
This is
That
Title
XFL
Nine.
been shut down 2 times. This is the third time it's back.
This is the Title Nine right now going on, where they're just trying to keep women's basketball going. And I mean, I understand it and I love it for them, but you have to get to the point where you have to not be feel like you're entitled. There was clips of girls after the All-Star game that were going to the clubs, and they were I remember the promoter was like, hold on, let me get you guys in. And they were like, we with the W, we don't wait. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, no, I think, man, like at
out of
some point,
control.
people get greedy and people get what's the word I'm looking for? Um they think you owe them something,
Yeah.
right? They feel
Entitled.
entitled. That's the word I'm looking for. And I think some of these ladies can hoop. I think Caitlin Clark can hoop. I think Angel Reese can brand herself. I think Asia Wilson does get busy. But none of that matters. Only thing that matters is the viewers and the bottom line. And the bottom line is that the bottom line for men was showing what it was showing for you, it would be done.
Pull the plug for sure.
It would be done because then people say, well, the NBA took 25 years to be profitable, right? I'll give you that. But let's think about the times. That's when all sports was created in the NBA and the ABA. Things were on tape delay. There was no social media. So if people want to watch the WNBA now, there's no problem watching it. Back then, there was only certain markets that could do this. There's only so many people that could watch this, do that. Sports wasn't the same.
Right.
So the fact that you got sports like pickleball able to literally pick up and take off and get on ESPN, right, immediately. And what's the problem? People are more interested in watching pickleball than the WNBA. Those sports are able to get on ESPN within a year of doing it because people take to it and they want to watch it.
When you put
So
it like
that's one of the things that they don't understand. It's not the same back in the day. Because back in the day, Jerry Jones also bought an NFL team for $150 million or whatever. Now it's worth $12 billion.
yeah, the fact that they said that is nuts. When you bring up the pickleball thing, like valid point. I just think that the WNBA just has to take small wins. Take this 400% raise, do what you're supposed to do, and then come back to the board, negotiated table when it's time. But to just come out and demand exactly what the NBA gets when the level of play isn't the exact same as the NBA, you're not profitable as the NBA. It's just doesn't make sense.
And the last thing I want to say about this is Shaq and many men have came up and said the only thing missing between the WNBA game, which is not the only thing missing. I mean, there's a lot of skill that's missing in the talent level, and that's just any man and women and men in women's sport, right? Like that's just is what it is. Is the dunk though, and like they get so offended, like why moving into 9.5 or 9 feet or whatever or 9'8" is such a slap in the face when softball is different than baseball, when the volleyball net is shorter than the men's volleyball net, right? There's everything in pretty much every other woman's sport is even in basketball, your basketball is smaller. Right? So that's the thing, is like, why is that the line we're drawing? Oh, yeah, that's the slap in the face for us when every other women's sport is geared towards benefiting the women of saying, hey, you might not be as strong, not might be as fast or tall, so let's go ahead and adjust. The men have high hurdles. If you go watch Sydney McLaughlin and them run, their hurdles are low. They're stepping over them. The men got to jump. You can't be no short hurdler really as a man. Them hurdles are high. The women's are not even proportionate of what a woman should be. Is very low. Every other sport pretty much is like that. But for the WNBA, they're just, oh, it's a slap in the face.
It's a slap in the face to want to lower the goal.
Yeah, like how?
That's
because
crazy.
If you look at it, the proportion of missed layups by the WNBA is worse than high school. Because once again, they're shorter, so they're not as close to the rim. So a layup is easy when you're in the NBA, when literally your head is by the rim and you could dunk it if you wanted to and you're laying up. For like even Angel Reese, the reason why she misses a lot of layups, and even other WNBA girls, go watch it. I'm talking about open layups. It's still a nice little shot to get up there. They're far away from the rim. The men in college, high school, and pros, they're not far away from the rim when they're laying the ball up, so there's going to be a lot fewer missed layups. They miss so many layups in WNBA games.
What would you propose the height be?
And like I said, I don't know if it should go all the way down to 9 foot, but I think a 9'6", a 9'8", just a little bit to give you the ball. The NBA ball is like this, right?
Right.
WNBA ball might be like this. We're not giving them a little kiddie ball, but proportionate to their hand size. So I feel like y'all should figure out, okay, should 9'6", 9'8", 9'10", 9 foot, what are most women jumping? What is their height? What is the proportion of the average 6'5" down in the NBA? How high does he have to jump to make a comfortable layup? Right? And of course, you can't bring it down to 8 foot, but I feel like that's a big thing, is the ball looks so bad sometimes. When you just see them, they're just throwing the ball at the rim sometimes. They're getting it, throwing it up, getting it, throwing it up. Compared to Giannis getting a rebound and it's a putback. Angel's only 10 inches off the ground, so it's dang near a shot from 3 feet away. So, of course, the women miss a lot more. I think that's something that could be considered and should be considered, but for them, whatever reason, no women have problems with any other things in their sports, but the WNBA, that's where they draw the line of, oh, you're disrespecting us.
Because a lot of that, and not to get too deep, but a lot of those women just have, it seems like a lot of them have something against men, like a lot of them try to
they have a chip on their shoulder like no other women athletes. WNBA.
Right. Put it like that. Yeah. And maybe that's the issue, but hopefully they'll get over it, because I would like to see a better quality of basketball in the WNBA. And if that means dropping the net down a little bit to make that happen, I'm all for it.
Yeah, like I said, because if you think about it, and we'll end with this, you got a Caitlin Clark, right? You got Flage, who's looking better. You got Fu Wiley, who's looking better. You got old girl from NC State that literally looked like she be playing at the Rucker Park and really getting it in. So the level of the individual, and that's the thing to think about. The level of the individual girl has risen so much, but the product of the WNBA remains the same. Think about that.
Right.
The individual girl, when you see them like they hooping, they grew up hooping with the fellas. But the product, once we get to the WNBA, still looks like it hasn't changed much at all. That's something to really look into, because the girls have actually gotten way better individually, but the WNBA product pretty much looks the same every game.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll end with that. We're jumping right back on live. So if you're on this one, make sure you stay on, because in about 2 minutes, we'll be right back on. We'll be on my guy Ed's page. It's Call My Agent. Obviously, I'll get on. It'll show that I'm on live as well once I link up with him. But Call My Agent will be back on live here in 2 minutes. So let's keep rocking, keep rolling. We out.
All right, guys.